Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our football betting series here on YouTube. We won all three of our Premier League picks last week out, which means our May record stands at 6 wins, 3 losses, and 0 pushes for a monthly profit of £14, or around half a unit. Adding this to the previous month's data, and our overall record stands at 83 wins, 29 losses, and 11 pushes for a series profit of £453 and 84 pence. This episode features 2 picks across the final day of the Premier League. And a rule that I like to stick by in these kind of situations is asking myself, who actually needs to win here? Are some sides safe? Have some sides already secured European qualification? And are some sides already resigned to relegation? If that is the case, then I find myself leaving those games alone and focusing on the matches where there is something still left to play for. With that in mind, I have 2 selections in today's episode. If you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. We kick things off as 16th place Brentford play host to 6th place Newcastle. And Brentford picked up an away win on the road last week against Bournemouth. A rather drab affair burst into life in the closing stages with 3 goals coming after the 85th minute. Brentford got the breakthrough thanks to Mbeumo before being pegged back by Dominic Solanke in the 89th minute. When everyone thought we were looking at 1 point apiece, Yohan Wissa stepped up in the 95th minute to seal the deal for the Bees. Now, Brentford have been safe for the last couple of weeks, but they have kept their standards up. They're unbeaten in 7 of their last 8 games, with a number of draws in there, but it'll be another year of Premier League football for Thomas Frank's side. The away side Newcastle, they were held to a draw in their last game against Brighton. Despite creating an XG of 2.22, only Longstaff's strike just before half-time was enough to beat the Brighton goalkeeper, and the 2 sides shared the spoils, taking a point each. The Magpies still need to pick up some points to lock up European football, but they have proven very tricky to beat of late. Just 1 loss in their last 8 league games. When we look at the head-to-head record, Newcastle picked up a win in the reverse fixture by 1-0. This was courtesy of Callum Wilson's penalty, and that result meant that Newcastle have taken their 4th straight win over Brentford, unbeaten in all 7 league encounters since the 2016-17 season. With Brentford's season over and Newcastle still chasing hopes of European football, I think the away side has more to gain here. I'm going to be looking for a strong away performance to try and lock up 6th place ahead of Chelsea. Newcastle to win, but only a half stake in the lights of their rough away record this year in bet number 1. Our second and final selection in today's episode sees 7th place Chelsea playing host to 11th place Bournemouth. And Chelsea played Forest at the weekend in what was probably the best game to watch from a neutral's perspective. After drawing the first half 1 each, the ex-Chelsea player Callum Hudson-Odoi nudged Forest into the lead with a curling strike from the left side of the area. He thought he'd won the game, but Chelsea responded quickly with 2 goals in as many minutes to complete the turnaround, to pick up 3 points and keep the Blues in European contention. That result meant it was Chelsea's 3rd straight win, and they're unbeaten in their last 4 league matches, a run which has seen Chelsea push themselves into the European conversation, something which has been impossible for most of the season and very difficult to believe even a month ago. As touched upon in our first selection, Bournemouth lost their last game by 2-1 against Brentford thanks to Yohan Wissa's 95th minute strike. This does mean that the Cherries have lost back-to-back games as their season winds down to a mid-table finish. When we look at the head-to-head record, the reverse fixture finished goalless despite both teams combining for an XG of 2.89. Chelsea had the slightly better numbers, but ultimately did not do quite enough to pick up a win. For this game, I think despite a bit of a horror show of a season for Chelsea, they will be keen to salvage something positive in European football. That can only happen with a win here today and other results going their way, so I'll be backing the home side to win for a full stake in the second bet of the episode. So there we have it, 2 selections in this one, starting off with Brentford versus Newcastle. I'm going to be backing the away side Newcastle at odds of 2.12, a £15 half stake to return £16.80. And finally, the last bet of the Premier League season will see Chelsea host Bournemouth. We're going to be backing the home side's odds of 1.5, £30 stake to return 15. So across the weekend, we're going to be risking £45 to hopefully pick up as much as £31.80. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode, which will be the Champions League final episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.